Brakes can be a major determining factor in whether or not a collision occurs and are a critical safety component, which is why HINO Australia commissioned a comparison test between HINO genuine brake pads and rotors versus non-genuine substitutes to determine which was the better investment in safety and productivity. Both sets of brake pads and rotors were fitted to the rear axle of a HINO 300 series tipper. Then, under controlled conditions across 2 major drive events, over 4,000 brake applications were completed on a wide variety of Australian roads. So, what's the verdict? The results show a large difference in heat generated by the 2 sets of brake pads, which, as we know, is a critical factor in determining braking power. After the 1,000 brake application within the first drive event, a difference of 98 degrees was recorded between the non-genuine and HINO genuine brake pads. Overall, the average temperature difference was 54 degrees Celsius. The second drive event showed that the non-genuine pads were unable to recover. 120 applications in, heat generated from non-genuine brake pads had already reached its previous temperature peak and was still climbing, ultimately showing a difference of 119 degrees Celsius, with the lowest temperature difference for the day being 82 degrees Celsius. An industry standard roller brake test was conducted at the end of the second drive event, which showed that HINO genuine pads and rotors delivered over 10% greater braking force than the non-genuine substitute. Furthermore, upon removing the brake pads and rotors, the physical differences were also very noticeable. The HINO genuine brake pad had no heat cracks or signs of fatigue, while the non-genuine shows large fatigue and heat cracks. And here, you can also see obvious signs of excessive heat penetration. It's a similar story when observing the rotors. The HINO genuine rotors show only minor heat discolouring and insignificant wear, while with the non-genuine, there is significant heat transfer which is penetrated through to the bearing hub. Over time, the effects of heat on non-genuine brake pads and rotors can have dangerous implications to brake pads, including increased stopping distance, brake pad burn and fatigue fractures, and the brake rotor possibly impacting other components such as heat transfer damage to wheel bearings. Faced with a steep hill around the next corner or heavy rainstorm, the tests performed indicate that non-genuine parts could seriously impact braking force and efficiency. Remember, using HINO genuine parts provides a safer environment for both the driver and others on the road. After 4,000 brake applications in the comparison test, we saw major differences, with, at one point, the non-genuine brake pad reaching a temperature 119 degrees hotter than the genuine brake pad. This impacted the structure of both the brake pad and rotors, ultimately providing less braking force. Continued use of non-genuine parts would lead to greater heat penetration, further cracking and glazing of brake rotors, and could possibly impact other components. So, ask yourself, is what you're fitting to your truck the safest option?